All right. Call this meeting to order. Friday, April 1st, 2 p.m. meeting. Scott, Mr. Trahan, say the pledge and Mr. McGee said the prayer, please.
Face flag, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Okay, we move on to item number 3. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Any public comment? We'll move on to item number 4, approval of minutes. Moved by Mr. Dupont.
Second.
Second by Mr. Trahan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, approval of add-ons. 7G, Waterworks District number 7. Item 27, change order, Cameron Parish Police Jury pump repair. Additional charge to replace existing pump with a 24-inch lift pump. Item 28, President authority to sign resolution opposing any and all bills or proposed bills in the 22 legislative session that removes the Cameron Parish Police Jury's authority concerning coastal litigation and their causes of action.
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. McGee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, other permits. A, Crescent Energy Services LLC, Grand Chenier. B, Apollo Energy Operating Company LP, Johnson Bayou.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Dupont.
Second.
Second by Mr. Trahan. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, appointments. Cameron Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District appoint Nina Jones to open seat for Ward 2 for remainder of the term.
This was an appointment that is Mr. Thomas's, but yes, so he asked for it to be on the agenda the last month after the meeting.
Move.
Moved by Mr. McGee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. Any opposed? Motion carries. B, Recreation District number 9, Cassie LeBlue resign. Appoint Angie Terrio for remainder of the term.
That's the Thomas's, I believe.
Yeah, that's Grand Chenier also, that's Mr. Thomas's, and he's aware of this appointment too. The rec board's talked to him.
Okay, who moved? You did?
I did. Second.
Oh, moved by Mr. Trahan, second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Ambulance Service District number 1, Michael Booth, term expired.
That's Miss
This is
Michelle,
Miss
huh?
Michelle, that's Mr. Thomas's
I'm
too.
sorry.
Okay. I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Trahan,
Second.
second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. D, Ambulance Service District number 2, Katie Toops, terms expired.
Move to reappoint.
Moved to reappoint by
Second.
Mr. Dupont, second by Mr. Falk. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item E, mosquito abatement count control, Robert Trahan, term expired.
Move to reappoint.
Moved to reappoint by Mr. McGee,
Second.
second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item F, Cameron Parish Fire District number 10, Civil Service Board, Wendy Harrington, term expired.
Move to reappoint.
Moved to reappoint by Mr. McGee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. G, Waterworks District number 7, Guy Murphy Senior resign. Appoint Gabe Lalonde for remainder of the term.
That's my district. I would like to send Mr. Guy a letter of appreciation. He's been on there a long time. And appoint Gabe Lalonde, so moved, whatever.
Okay, moved by Mr. Trahan to send Mr. Murphy a letter of appreciation and appoint Gabe Lalonde for remainder of the term.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, President authority to sign resolution authorizing rural public transit to file an application with Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for a grant under 49 CFR 5311, formula grant for rural areas, and 49 CFR 5310, formula grant for enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities. Moved by Mr. Falk.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9. Mary, you gonna read that one, proclamation?
Yep. Whereas the 54th anniversary of the National Fair Housing Law Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 during the month of April is an occasion for all Americans, individually and collectively, to rededicate themselves to the principle of freedom from housing discrimination whenever it exists. Whereas the laws guarantees for each citizen the critical personal element of freely choosing a home. A fair housing law has been passed by the state of Louisiana, and implementation of the law requires the positive commitment, involvement, and support of all of our citizens. Whereas the department and agencies of the state of Louisiana are to provide leadership in the effort to make fair housing not just an idea, but an ideal for all of our citizens. Whereas barriers that diminish the rights and limit the options of any citizen to freely choose a home with untimely diminish the rights and limit the oppositions of all. Now therefore, I, Curtis Fountain, President of the Cameron Parish Police Jury, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Fair Housing Month in Cameron Parish, and do hereby encourage all citizens to abide by the letter and spirit of the Fair Housing Law, and ask the citizens of Cameron Parish to join in reaffirming the obligation and commitment to the fair housing opportunities for all.
Moved by Mr. Falk.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, another proclamation, National Community Development Week.
Whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program has operated since 1974 to provide local governments with the resources required to primarily meet the needs of low and moderate income persons, and whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program is among the few remaining federal programs available to address the needs of low and moderate income persons in small cities. Whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program has provided the state of Louisiana with important and flexible assistance to meet the needs of low and moderate income residents of small cities by funding sewer, water, and street improvement projects, economic development projects, and other public improvement projects. Congress and the nation acknowledge the critical value of the Community Development Block Grant and the significant projects that rely on its funds, and whereas the week of April 11th through 15th, 2022 has been reserved for recognition and appreciation of the Community Development Block Grant Program. Now therefore, I, Curtis Fountain, President of the Cameron Parish Police Jury, Cameron Parish, Louisiana, do hereby proclaim the week of April 11th through 15th, 2022 as National Community Development Week in the Parish of Cameron, State of Louisiana.
All in favor?
We need a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept, I'm sorry. That was accepted by
Second.
Scott Trahan and second by Mr. Dupont.
All in favor, aye.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? All right, we're gonna skip item 11 and 12 for a few minutes.
Well, 11 we can do, 12 we're gonna skip for a second.
Okay, I thought you said that one too. Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Item 11, proclamation, National Library Week.
Whereas today's libraries are more about what they can do with and for their communities and not just about what they have on the shelves. Whereas the libraries have long served as trusted institutions, often the heart of their cities, towns, schools, and academic campuses. Whereas libraries serve people of all ages, interests, and backgrounds, providing the resources and space to engage in lifelong learning. Libraries offer equipment and professional staff support to utilize technology, programs, and services with often free or nominal charges to users. Libraries are a resource for all, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. We recognize librarians as information professionals who provide expertise, services, and guidance for patrons to assess credible sources and material, making their own informed decisions about the world today. Libraries provide access to a display of a wide range of information, not just the majority opinion or single perspective. Librarians hold the professional values of diversity, equality, and inclusion to meet the needs of all users. Whereas America is celebrating National Library Week, including April 5th as National Library Workers' Day, and the immeasurable contributions made by library workers. April 6th is National Outreach Day, showing library services are not limited to their physical location, and April 7th is Take Action for Libraries Day, encouraging community support for libraries. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Curtis Fountain, President of the Cameron Parish Police Jury, proclaim National Library Week, April 3rd through 9th, 2022, in the parish of Cameron, Louisiana. During the week, we encourage all residents to visit our libraries and explore all they have to offer.
Move.
Second.
Move to accept by Mr. McGee, second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And just on a side note, Mr. President, Monday, the Johnson Bayou Holly Beach Library community is going to be delivering, the library is going to be delivering to Johnson Bayou Holly Beach, Tuesday to Hackberry Community Center, Wednesday to Cameron and Grand Chenier Community, and Thursday to Lowry. Since we still don't have our libraries functional, they're going to be delivering books. You can check out different books for that whole week.
Okay, thank you. We will skip item number 12 until Ms. Reese arrives. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Item 13, conduct public hearing for proposal of amendments to 14-60 speed limits for beach areas, deleting existing section A.1, notwithstanding the above provisions, these vehicles are not allowed at the following beaches. Item 1, Holly Beach area, off-road vehicles or vehicles without valid vehicle license are prohibited from a 1/2 mile east of Barataria Boulevard, Parish Road 502, and Beach Post number 1 on the east side of Holly Beach to the location 1/2 mile west of Riviera Lane, Parish Road 513, and Beach Post number 30 on the west side of Holly Beach.
On the public hearing, we received 5 in favor notices, whether written or allowed here at the meetings, and we received 2 opposing the change in the ordinance.
No one to speak? Nobody else here?
No, there's one letter opposing in y'all's packet. If you would like me to read it, it's from Mr. Lee Myers.
Yes.
On vote?
Yeah, we can vote. Well, we gotta go to it next, 14. That was just to delete. That was the public hearing.
We're gonna listen to the one opposition.
He came and spoke.
Yeah.
Huh?
He
He
actually
came,
came-
yes, he actually came and spoke also, and then he mailed in a letter. He's just saying because of safety reasons, he would like the ordinance to stay as is.
Yeah, I mean, he said that at the meeting, and he has also said that in his letter.
Correct.
Everybody has read the letter? Okay, moved by Mr. McGee,
Second.
second by Mr. Trahan.
That's to close it.
Yep,
What?
that's to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, authority to amend 14 to 60 speed limits for beach areas. Okay, delete existing section A1. Notwithstanding the above provisions, these vehicles are not allowed at the following beaches. That's the same one I just
Yeah,
read.
It's the same thing, this is
Move to
adopting, this is y'all vote whether to change it or leave it.
Yeah, move to delete.
Move to delete by Mr. McGee,
Second.
second by Mr. Trahan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 15, accept Cameron Parish Police Jury post-hurricane restoration demolish project to clear 7 multiple sites as substantially complete.
These were the 7 parish sites that Mr. Wendell Wilkerson cleared. It was the Grand Lake Fire Station, the OEP Pavilion, Katie, help me out,
Creole
Creo Fire Station.
Fire Station, Camille, Ridgecrest,
And Oak Grove.
Multi-purpose building.
Oak Grove.
Y'all
And he's-
looked
he's
at
finished.
those sites, they're,
He's
they're,
finished, the lots were soil tested, hydro seeded, and,
And they're all clean. They really look nice,
Yes.
I mean.
Okay, it's moved by Mr. Trahan,
second.
second by Mr. McGee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry, that was, number 16, authority to announce the change speed limit on LeBeau Road, PR 429, beginning at John Duan Road, PR 486 to the north end of LeBeau Road, approximately 415 feet from 25 miles per hour to 15 miles per hour, Sweet Lake, Louisiana.
District.
Moved by Mr. Falk,
Second.
second by Mr. Guidry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 18, consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing, ordering, and calling of an election November 8th, 2022, the consolidated levy and collection of ad valorem property taxes in lieu of existing ad valorem property taxes.
Oh, wait, go back up to number 17.
Did I?
Yes, sir.
17.
Sorry, y'all. Consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing publication of notice describing geographic limits of Cameron, Louisiana.
Move.
Moved by Mr. McGee. Second by Mr. Falk. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sorry, Mr. Butch. Now we can read 18. Consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing, ordering, and calling of an election November 8th, 2022 for the consolidated levy and a collection of ad valorem property taxes in lieu of existing ad valorem property taxes for the purpose of economic development and operating and maintaining all parish facilities.
This is
Move
the
by-
one Katie spoke about this morning.
Moved by Mr. Falk, second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 19, consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing, ordering, and calling an election November 8th, 2022 to consider renewal of an ad valorem property tax millage for the purpose of improving, maintaining, constructing, and repairing roads and bridges in the parish.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Trahan, second by Mr. Guidry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 20, authority to advertise for bids for the official journal. Moved by Mr. Falk,
Second.
second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 21, approve Cameron Council on Aging's meal program appropriation of $12,000. Moved by Mr. Guidry,
Second.
second by Mr. Falk. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 22, authority to advertise for sealed bids to purchase 2 14-yard fire liner dump trucks with dump beds.
Move.
Moved by Mr. McGee, second by Mr. Falk. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 23, authority to advertise for sealed bids to purchase 1 culvert cleaner.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Trahan, second by Mr. Falk. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 24, change order number 010, Johnson Valley Library, addition of site lighting, light poles, and parking lot were overlooked until construction started. Reinstall 2 new light fixtures on the existing poles of the property. Contractor will be able to reuse poles and existing wiring, increase contract amount by $7,635. No charge and contract time, table from last month.
Now, is the library in favor of this?
No, sir. They rejected the bid Wednesday.
Okay, so what do we do? Y'all want to not vote for it? How do we do it?
The library board asked that y'all agree with their decision and reject the bid also.
I move we reject the bid and refuse the change order?
You reject the change order, yes, sir.
Now, y'all want to Is that what they want? Don't want?
Yeah, they rejected it.
We talked about they should have caught this and they should have bid this out. And they have errors and omissions insurance. So our board asked the architect that missed it to pay for it, and when FEMA pays us, we'll pay him back.
Okay, so it's moved by Mr. McGee to, reject the
Change order.
change order.
Mhm.
Second. Okay, second by Mr. Falk, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 25, change order number 001, Hackberry Library, additional structural fill, 3 catch basins and piping for driveway culvert per DOTD requirements, removal and replacement of unsuitable soils with compacted structural fill, and testing per structural engineer credit for domestic water service relocation. Increased contract total by $54,351. Increased contract time by 76 days, 52 days for the items listed above, 12 weather days in January and 12 weather days in February. But
So when the bid was done, Ms. Dee Dee, correct me if I misunderstood Mr. Stephen the other day. DOTD requires that this be done on the driveway coming off of the state highway due to the traffic that's gonna be going in and out. They wanna make sure that this driveway is heavy enough to hold the traffic. And part of the requirement is because it's coming off of a state highway. The water location where the water meter originally was on somebody else's property, they were able to reroute it to another water meter, so that's why you're getting the credit back. I think it's $4,800 for that, getting the credit back on that. And it's a total with the credit of the $54,351.
Does the library board support this?
Yes, sir, they voted for it the other
Have a
night.
motion.
Moved by Mr. Falk.
Second.
Second by Mr. McGee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 26, pay bills.
Move.
Moved by Mr. McGee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 27, change order to Cameron Parish Police Jury pump repair, additional charge to replace existing pump with new 24-inch low lift pump. When old pump was pulled and it was found all internal parts and shaft was broken and the pump was damaged beyond repair. Increased project amount by $57,650. Moved by Mr. Trahan.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 28, President authority to sign resolution opposing any bills or proposed bills in 2022 legislative session that removes the Cameron Parish Police Jury's authority concerning coastal litigation and or these causes of action.
Move.
Moved by Mr. McGee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dupont.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Gotta move Quentin out here.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
We're gonna have to go back to item 12.
Oh, please.
You wanna hang on a few minutes, or?
We can. If it's, everybody else is in agreement with it.
Yeah.
Well, you will, I'll do anything you ask me. Well, almost anything.
What's this for?
She's coming, his widow's coming, and Mr. Richmond to present her with the proclamation. Yeah, she got caught at the Black Bright Bridge, and she had to drive around for 2 boats. Then she got hung up behind a school bus. She got it like 10 minutes to 2, she said.
I think I saw her truck.
Okay,
I'll let you know. We're gonna say while we're waiting, somebody could give us an update on the field trip.
On the field trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, the levy thing.
Yeah, do you want me to tell her, or do you wanna tell, Mr. Butch?
Whatever. I
Go
can
ahead,
do it
tell
and
him.
you can do it.
Tell him what you thought about it.
Okay, we went down,
Did you
Who's
dump them off the
Parish?
cart?
Huh?
Did you dump them off the buggy?
No. I met with a gentleman, Wendell Curall, from down there, who has been doing levee work, with pumps and drainage projects and everything in both Terrebonne. He was in Terrebonne Parish first, and then he went over to LaFouche Parish. He took us on a tour, showed us what all they built over the years. And they got grant money to do it. Now, they had to have some matching funds. So they passed 2 5-mil property taxes, and then they passed the sales tax with an overwhelming majority, 73% vote, to get money to use for funding, for matching money, so they could get the federal money. And they started out building these levees, and what they did, Gary was there, he heard it all. They started, and they just like dug borrow pit canals, and they piled it up, and they would let the organic material rot. That was the first contract they did. On the second contract, had another contractor come in there and actually start the actual levee construction. And they did it, and it was a low-level levee, 6 feet or 10 feet, I think.
How tall-
And
how tall were y'all?
they built it, and then it settled down to about 6. But what they did, every time they got more tax money, they would apply for money, use the tax money for funding. They continued building these levees. They have batteries of pumps, 24-inch pumps. You cross over these levees, and when you cross over them, just about everywhere you cross, here's the pumps. And they have, it's real nice the way they did it, and Gary can tell you, and all those canals, when you cross over the levee, they got boat landings, families can fish and crab and shrimp you can put in your boat and going out into the bayous and marshes. But that levee is now up to 17 feet tall. And with these pumps, they didn't have any houses that flooded for Ida. You know, they kept everything out.
They're the only place in South Louisiana that did not receive some type of flood inundation.
Wow.
South LaFouche Parish Levee District.
Are they cement or they just?
The earth levees. Now, when they got some places, they drove sheet piling. That was interesting to see. When they went in years ago and they started the first construction, they drove some sheet piling. Well, when they came back up and they raised the levees up, they needed to extend the sheet piling. So they came and welded flat plate steel all on the top of the sheet piling. Then took some more sheet piling and welded on top of the flat plate steel
Brought it up another 3 feet.
to meet their elevations. And it's really nice. Now, we would like to get Wendell Curell to come over here. And we could put him in mud boats or maybe get a plane or a helicopter. We'd like to fly him around the parish so that he could look and tell us his opinion on how he thinks we would need to build levees. They have levied off communities over there, is what it amounts to. They have rock breakwaters and everything in places to save their marsh, but what they did was to save communities. And that's what we feel we need to do here. It was a real interesting trip. Pumps had pumped 200 million gallons a minute.
Yeah,
something,
220 million gallons a
something
minute.
million gallons a minute or something like that. They can pump a tremendous amount of water.
35,000.
Kara could give y'all a talk on what it was like crossing the levees. I mean,
We heard she came back white.
yeah. You know, it was, but it was a very interesting trip. And I think we need to try to, when we talked about having community meetings coming up, this needs to be brought up. And if possible, maybe have a DVD with him talking to explain to people how it worked.
What was the total cost of those levies?
Millions.
We never,
Like over 600 million, I believe.
yes, it was, I don't remember, it was a tremendous amount of money, but I'm gonna tell you something about it.
But how many
This
years-
will
over
be
how
a
many years did it
never-ending
take them to build
project.
them?
Because as they
Yeah, it's
get
not
more
like
money,
all at one time.
they build their levees higher. Their levee's up to 17 feet now.
Right.
And the water came
Start small, you
within
gotta
a
start
foot of
small.
topping that levee by Golden Meadow.
I mean, at first you're looking at protecting the community from high waters. then as you keep building these levees, then you're protecting them more for closer impacting storms. You're not gonna protect them at first from every direct hit storm, but how long will it keep those floodwaters out to let people evacuate, or along those lines? How much longer is it going to protect the constituents within that levee system? You're just adding protection. It's a one-to-one basis, whatever type of infrastructure, buildings, homes, roads, whatever the amount of that, your levee system has to be a one-to-one max, or it doesn't receive funding. So we may not be able to look at the entire parish on day one, but 30, 40 years over time, 10, 20 years over time, we can start looking at levee protection systems, closing off systems to protect those systems as we go. The main thing you want to start with is where you're going to have the biggest bang for the dollar, and that's going to be your denser communities. You're going to have a few residents outside of these levee districts that may not benefit right up front, but protect the majority and then grow. It's a never. It doesn't matter how big the step is or how small the step is. Always be moving forward is kind of what Mr. Wendell's philosophy was with it. With help or without help, always be moving forward.
That sounds good.
And what, even though some residences may not have the protection of the levee, for instance, like beachfront homes and everything, they're right on the beach. Where I live up there by Bears Camp, you got camps right on the waterfront. But most of those are elevated anyhow. They're already elevated. So, again, it was a very interesting trip. And they're doing it, levying off communities. They're saving their parish. So.
That sounds wonderful. Look like something when we get them billions of dollars, we can do that. Right? Okay, we're gonna go back to item number 12. Mary?
Whereas Mr. Gene Douglas Reese departed this life on Thursday, March 17th, 2022, and whereas this body and the people of Cameron Parish shall be eternally indebted unto the late Mr. Gene Reese for his faithful service with the Grand Lake Fire Department, as well as serving as a board member for Fire Protection District Number 14 for many years, and serving on the Board of Directors for the Cameron Council on Aging. And whereas Mr. Reese was a dedicated public servant to the parish and his community and was proud to serve in the Louisiana Army National Guard. Now therefore be it resolved by the police jury of the parish of Cameron, Louisiana, in regular session convened on this first day of April 2022. The secretary is hereby directed to spread this resolution on the minutes of this body and forward certified copies thereof to the family of Mr. Reese. Adopted and approved this first day of April 2022.
Moved by Mr. Falk. Second. Second by Mr. DuPont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Chili's, I know you were going.
I said, I'm sure glad y'all here. I can talk. I'm damn dumbfounded.
On behalf of Cameron Parish, Holy Druid of Cameron Parish, we present this to you. I knew Gene for 46 years, so him and I went back a long ways. We're gonna miss him.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Falk. Second. Second by Mr. DuPont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.